The lights flickered. The elevator jerked to a halt between floors 42 and 43. A man in maintenance uniform looked up from his toolbox. Standing before him was the young CEO, notorious for her ruthlessness, still barking into her phone. "Fire them all if they can't deliver by morning." She turned, annoyed. "You, can't you fix this thing?" He glanced at the control panel, then back at her. "Trying, ma'am, but maybe it's not the elevator that's broken." The lights went out. Silence. When the emergency backup kicked in, she noticed something. A paper had slipped from his toolbox. It bore her company's logo. Jack Rowan was 38 years old, a single father, a maintenance engineer who spent his days fixing broken systems in a building that once threw him away. 5 years ago, he had a different life. He wore suits. He had an office on the 40th floor. He was a data security specialist for one of the largest corporations in the city. Then he found something he wasn't supposed to find. Financial records, hidden accounts, numbers that didn't add up. $3 billion moving through shadows. He reported it. He thought he was doing the right thing. Instead, they accused him of hacking, of stealing confidential data. They fired him, blacklisted him, made sure no tech company would ever hire him again. His wife left. She couldn't handle the scandal. The media, the shame. He was left with his daughter, Emma. She was 7 then, 12 now. So Jack took the only job he could find, maintenance work, in the same building, for the same company that destroyed him. Maybe because he needed to stay close, because the evidence was still there, because he wasn't finished. Around his neck, hidden under his uniform, he wore a USB drive on a chain, like a talisman, like a grenade with the pin still in. It contained everything, every transaction, every signature, every lie. He just needed the right moment, the right person, someone brave enough to listen. Clara Voss was 31, the youngest CEO the company had ever appointed. Smart, driven, cold. She believed in results. She believed in efficiency. She believed that everyone had a price, and if you paid it right, you could buy anything. Loyalty, silence, even truth. She didn't get to the top by being nice. She got there by being ruthless. Her father had been CEO before her. A legend in the industry, he'd retired 3 years ago, leaving her to carry the legacy. She didn't know about the secrets he'd buried, or maybe she did and chose not to look. Today was supposed to be simple. A quick meeting on floor 42, sign some contracts, fire a few underperformers, get home before midnight. She stepped into the elevator, already on her phone, already yelling at someone about missed deadlines. Then he stepped in. The maintenance guy, carrying his toolbox, smelling like machine oil and something else. Something like quiet defiance. She barely looked at him. People like him were invisible to people like her. The doors closed. The elevator started moving. Then it stopped. The jolt was sudden. Clara grabbed the rail. Jack steadied himself, his toolbox clattering. The lights flickered. Once, twice, then settled into a dim emergency glow. Clara's phone lost signal. "What's happening?" Jack moved to the control panel. He pressed buttons, checked the display. "System failure. We're stuck between floors." "Well, fix it." "I'm trying." She crossed her arms. This was unacceptable. She had things to do, people to fire, an empire to run. How long? Could be 10 minutes. Could be an hour. Depends on what's broken. She exhaled sharply. This day kept getting worse. Jack opened his toolbox. As he pulled out a screwdriver, something slipped. A folded piece of paper. It floated to the floor. Clara's eyes caught it. The corner, the logo, her company's logo. She bent down, picked it up, unfolded it. It was a printout. Financial codes, account numbers, a signature at the bottom. A signature she recognized. She looked up at him, really looked at him for the first time. "Who are you?" Jack didn't answer right away. He just stared at the paper in her hands. Then he said quietly, "Someone who used to work for your father." The air in that small metal box suddenly felt very, very thin. Clara stared at the paper, then at Jack, Then back at the paper. What is this? Evidence. Evidence of what? Jack closed his toolbox slowly. He leaned against the elevator wall. Of why I'm wearing this uniform instead of a suit. Her eyes narrowed. She was good at reading people. It was how she survived in boardrooms full of sharks. But this man, he wasn't scared. He wasn't trying to impress her. He was just tired. You worked for my father? I worked for the company. Your father just happened to be the one who signed my termination papers. Clara's jaw tightened. She didn't like where this was going. If you have some kind of grudge, this isn't the time or place. It's always the time. It's never the place. The elevator shuddered. Both of them grabbed the rails. The lights dimmed further. Clara's confidence cracked just a little. Can you actually fix this? Or are we going to die in here? I can fix elevators, ma'am. I can't fix liars. Her head snapped toward him. Excuse me? You heard me. She took a step closer. Her voice dropped, cold, controlled. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. I know you sleep fine at night. That's more than I can say. You people, she stopped herself. What? You people? Say it. You people who fix your toilets and your lights and your elevators while you pretend we don't exist? Clara's face flushed. She wasn't used to being challenged, especially not by someone she considered beneath her. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. Silence fell between them. Heavy, uncomfortable. The elevator shuddered again. Harder this time. Clara lost her balance. She stumbled forward. Jack caught her, his hands on her arms, steadying her. For a moment, they were too close. She could see the lines around his eyes, the gray in his stubble, the exhaustion that lived permanently in his face. Thanks, she said quietly. He let go and stepped back. Don't mention it. She straightened her blazer, trying to regain her composure, her armor. But something had shifted. Just a crack. Just enough. The lights went out completely. Total darkness. Clara's breath hitched. She hated small spaces, always had. She just never told anyone. Stay calm, Jack's voice came from somewhere to her left. Emergency power will kick in soon. How soon? Soon. She fumbled for her phone. The screen lit up. A tiny island of light in the void. She turned it toward him. He was crouched down, working on something. The USB drive hung from his neck, swaying. What's that? He looked up. The light from her phone caught his eyes. Something I should have handed over years ago. What's on it? Jack hesitated. Then he sat back against the wall, tired, so tired. The truth. That's not an answer. It's the only answer. Clara moved closer. She sat down across from him. The phone between them like a campfire. Tell me. Well, why? So you can bury it like your father did? I'm not my father. Aren't you? That stung, more than she wanted to admit. Try me. Jack studied her, really studied her, looking for something, sincerity, courage. He wasn't sure, but he was trapped in an elevator. And maybe, just maybe, this was the moment he'd been waiting for. 10 years ago, I was hired to audit the company's security systems, digital infrastructure, access points, data protection. Clara nodded. Standard stuff. Yeah, except I found something that wasn't standard. Which was a shadow network, hidden servers, encrypted transactions moving billions of dollars through offshore accounts. Clara's expression didn't change, but her fingers tightened on her phone. Go on. $3 billion, moving in, moving out, never appearing on official reports, never scanned, never traced. That's impossible. We have auditors, regulators, the SEC, all paid off or kept blind. It's easy when you control the information. Clara shook her head. This is insane. You're making this up. Am I? He reached for the USB drive, unplugged it from the chain around his neck, held it up. Everything's on here. Transaction logs, account numbers, signatures, your father's signature. The emergency lights flickered back on, dim, yellow, making everything look sickly. Clara stared at the USB drive like it was a live grenade. You're lying. I wish I was. Then why didn't you go to the police, the media? Why are you here mopping floors and fixing elevators? Jack's laugh was bitter. I tried. I went to the board, to the legal team, to HR. You know what happened? What? They accused me of hacking, said I stole confidential data. They fired me, sued me, destroyed my reputation. My wife left. I lost everything. If that's true, why didn't you fight back? I had a daughter, 7 years old. They threatened her school, my custody. They told me if I kept talking, I'd lose her too. Clara's face went pale. So I shut up. I took the job they offered. Maintenance. Stay close. Stay quiet. Stay invisible. And now? Now she's 12. Now I've got nothing left to lose. He held out the USB drive. You want proof? Plug it in. Clara looked at the drive, then at him, then at the elevator control panel. You're serious. Dead serious. Her hand trembled slightly as she reached for it. Clara's fingers closed around the USB drive. It was still warm from hanging against his chest all these years. She turned it over in her palm. Such a small thing. Such a dangerous thing. She looked at the elevator control panel. There was a small diagnostic port near the bottom. You're telling me this will connect to the system? The elevator's linked to the building network. Everything connects through it. Clara stared at the port. Her corporate instincts screamed, don't look, don't know. But something quieter whispered, look. She knelt down. Her hand hovered over the port. If I plug this in, everything changes. It should have changed 10 years ago. My father built this company. He gave me everything. He also buried people to protect it. She saw her father's face. That day he made her CEO. The pride in his eyes. Or was it relief? She plugged in the drive. The screen flickered, code scrolled, then stopped. A login appeared. Jack typed quickly. His daughter's birthday. Files appeared, hundreds of them, organized by year, by account. Clara scrolled, her hands trembling, account numbers she'd never seen, banks in countries they didn't operate in, dates going back 15 years, 300 million here, 500 million there, billions disguised as operational expenses. Then she saw it, the company logo, her father's signature. Digital, verified. She clicked another file, same signature. Another, same. No, she whispered. Jack stood silent, letting her world crack open. She scrolled further, searching for proof this was wrong. Then she found something worse. Recent transactions. This year, her year as CEO. She clicked one. Authorization. Clara Voss, CEO. Her face went pale. I never signed this. I would never. But her mind raced. The documents she signed every week. Dozens of them. She trusted her team, her father's advisors. Oh God, the quarterly reviews. They bring me stacks. Tell me it's routine. I sign them. Jack's jaw tightened. They've been using you. Like my father? Worse, he knew. But you're the perfect fall guy, young, new. If someone investigates, they see your signature. Not his, yours. Clara stumbled back, breathing rapid. I didn't know. I would never. Doesn't matter what you knew. Matters what you can prove. Right now, your name is on billions in illegal transactions. You must be so happy. I'm destroying myself. Jack turned to her. Voice hard. I'm furious. They're doing to you what they did to me. Using you, setting you up. When it falls apart, you'll be in handcuffs while they disappear. The elevator shuddered, violent, metal groaning. Clara grabbed the rail. What was that? Jack checked the panel. His face changed. We need to get out. Now. What's wrong? Someone noticed we're in the system. They're shutting us down. The lights flickered. The screen went black. The USB sparked, smoked, melted. No! Clara reached for it. Jack pulled her back. It's dead. They fried it. The elevator dropped. A full foot. The emergency brakes caught. Both hit the floor. Clara screamed. Jack was already moving. Grabbed his crowbar. He jammed it into the door seam, put his weight behind it. Metal screamed, the doors cracked open. Inches beyond them, concrete wall, but above, 3 feet up, the edge of floor 43. You need to climb. Clara looked at the gap, the rough concrete, the impossible distance. I can't. You have to. The elevator shuddered, dropped 6 more inches, cables screaming above. Jack grabbed her shoulders, looked into her eyes. Clara, you are strong. You didn't get here by being weak. You fight. So fight now. I'm just a puppet. You're not. Not anymore. Climb. He pulled the doors wider, held them with his body. Clara moved to the opening, looked up at the ledge. She reached. Her fingers found the edge. Cold metal, sharp. Jack pushed from below. Boosting her, she pulled. Her expensive shoes slipping on smooth wall, her blazer tearing. She kicked, scrambled, her hands scraping concrete. Then she was up, on the wedge, gasping. She looked down. Jack was still in the elevator. Come on! He threw his toolbox up. It landed beside her, then reached for the ledge. The elevator dropped. Another foot, sudden. Jack's fingers caught the edge. Barely. He hung there, dangling. 42 floors of nothing below. Clara grabbed his wrists, pulled with everything she had. Don't you dare die! Not now! He kicked, found a foothold on the wall, pushed. She pulled harder, arms burning. Together they hauled him up. They collapsed on the floor. Both gasping, both alive. Behind them, a final cable snapped. The elevator fell. The crash echoed up the shaft. Thunderous. Final. They lay in silence. Emergency alarms wailing around them. Clara's voice was barely a whisper. You could have destroyed us. Years ago. Released everything. Why didn't you? Jack sat up slowly, looked at her. Because it wasn't about destroying the company. It was about destroying what was rotten. She wiped her eyes, tears streaming. There's a difference, he continued. Not you, just what was rotten inside. Clara pushed herself up. Her hands were bleeding from the concrete. Her suit was ruined. Her hair a mess. She'd never looked less like a CEO. She'd never felt more like herself. She picked up his toolbox, handed it to him. Then let's cut out the rot. Jack took it, nodded. For the first time in 10 years, he smiled. Not a bitter smile, not a broken smile, a real one. Yeah, let's do that. They stood up together, bruised, exhausted, alive. The emergency lights cast long shadows down the hallway. Clara looked at him. I'm going to need your help. You've got it. This is going to destroy everything my father built. Good. Let's build something better. She took a deep breath, straightened what was left of her blazer. The CEO mask was gone, but something stronger remained. Okay, let's go to work. They walked down the hallway together, away from the broken elevator shaft, toward the truth. The next morning, 7 a.m., the executive boardroom on the top floor was full. Every board member, every senior VP, the CFO, the legal team, all of them wondering why the new CEO had called an emergency meeting. Clara walked in. She looked different. No perfect makeup, no designer suit fresh from the cleaners. Her hands were bandaged. Her hair was simple, but her eyes were steel. Jack stood by the door, in his maintenance uniform. Several board members looked at him with confusion. What was the janitor doing here? Clara didn't sit at the head of the table like usual. She stood. She placed something on the table. Jack's toolbox. Before we discuss quarterly projections, she said, her voice calm, deadly calm. Let's talk about stolen lives. The CFO shifted uncomfortably. Clara, what is this about? It's about $3 billion. It's about 15 years of fraud. It's about my father. And it's about all of you. The room went silent. She opened the toolbox. Inside, there were documents, printed files. Jack had backup copies, not digital, paper, hidden for years. Last night, I almost died in an elevator, but I learned something. I learned that my father built this company on lies, and I learned that all of you helped him do it. The legal counsel stood up. Ms. Voss, I don't know what you think you've discovered, but Sit down. He sat. Clara spread the documents across the table. Account numbers, signatures, transaction records. I've already sent copies to the SEC, to the FBI, to the IRS, and to every major news outlet in the country. The CFO's face went white. You what? I exposed you, all of you. Chaos erupted, voices shouting, chairs scraping, threats and denials. Clara just stood there, waiting. Security entered, but not building security. Federal agents. Nobody leaves this room, the lead agent said. One by one, they were escorted out. The CFO, the legal team, 3 board members. All the people her father had trusted. All the people who had used her. By noon, it was everywhere. 3B corporate scandal exposed by CEO. Young executive turns whistleblower. CEO and maintenance worker uncovered decade of fraud. Clara held a press conference. Cameras everywhere. Reporters shouting questions. She told the truth. All of it. Her father's crimes, her own unwitting involvement, and Jack's story. 10 years ago, Jack Rowan tried to expose this. Instead of listening, we destroyed him. We took his career, his reputation, his life. Today I'm here to say he was right, and I was wrong. She turned to where Jack stood at the side of the room. Mr. Rowan, on behalf of this company, I apologize, and I'm asking you to help me fix what we broke. That evening, Clara found Jack in the basement, where the maintenance staff took their breaks. He was packing up his locker. Leaving, she asked. Figured I'd been fired. Actually, I was hoping you'd accept a new position. Head of Security and Ethics, with a real salary, and an office that doesn't smell like machine oil. Jack smiled, tired, genuine. You fix more than the elevator, Clara said softly. Jack looked at her, really looked at her. The CEO mask was gone, just a person remained, a person trying to do right. Maybe it just needed someone brave enough to press stop, he said. Clara's eyes welled up. She extended her hand. Jack shook it. Not as enemies, not as employer and employee, as allies, as friends, as 2 people who'd survived the fall. 1 year later, the building lobby looked transformed. Glass panels replaced old walls. Sunlight poured through new windows. A dedication ceremony was taking place. Employees in their best clothes. Media cameras. Community leaders. Clara stood at a podium. Behind her, a massive marble and glass wall. Names engraved in gold letters. She wore a simple navy suit. No armor, just herself. Today, we dedicate the Wall of Integrity, she announced, to honor those who spoke truth when silence was easier. She pulled a cord. The covering fell away. The wall gleamed. At the very top, Jack Rowan. Below it, he reminded us that sometimes truth doesn't rise to the top. It's buried by gold until someone digs it out. Jack stood near the back, his daughter Emma beside him, 13 now, growing tall. She grabbed his hand, squeezed tight. That's you, Dad. Everyone can see it now. Jack's throat tightened. After 10 years invisible. Yeah, kiddo. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you too. You're why I kept fighting. Clara caught his eye, smiled warmly. He nodded back. The company had transformed. New board, ethical policies, transparent accounting. They'd returned every stolen dollar. $3 billion plus interest, paid penalties, made restitution. The stock crashed. Lost clients, revenue down 40%, but slowly they rebuilt. On truth, they'd found something better. Trust, integrity, a future worth building. After the ceremony, Clara and Jack stood by the elevators. How's the new position? Clara asked. Jack smiled. Still strange. Having an office, people listening, different from being invisible. You've earned it. So have you. You could have covered this up, protected your father's legacy. Clara shook her head. That wasn't a legacy worth protecting. This is. She gestured around. We're smaller now, less profitable, but we're honest. We can sleep at night. Real is always better than than big. Always. Emma ran up, breathless. Dad, they have amazing cookies. Jack laughed. Go ahead. Save me one. Chocolate chip? I'll bring you two. She ran off, all energy and hope. Clara watched her. She's wonderful. You've raised an incredible daughter. She gave me a reason to keep going. I understand now, having someone worth fighting for. They stood in comfortable silence. People who'd been through hell together, not employer and employee, just two people who survived. The elevator dinged. Doors opened. Clara stepped in. You coming? Jack looked at it, remembered that night, the fear, the falling, the truth, then smiled, stepped in. The doors closed. The elevator rose. Smooth, steady, perfect. No flickering lights, no terror. Just two people going up, voiceover, Jack's voice. Reflective. I used to think I'd fallen to the lowest floor. That rock bottom was where my story ended. But that's where the elevator to truth starts. You have to go down before you rise. You have to break before you build something stronger. And sometimes the person you're trapped with becomes the person who helps you find the light. The camera pulls back. Through the glass shaft, Jack and Emma laughing together. Clara on another floor, waving, the building glowing in golden sunlight, rising, always rising, towards something better. Subscribe if you believe integrity always finds its way up. Thanks for watching this story.